Hello and welcome to the Golden Wheel Tavern. It's so good to see you all again today. Patrons for the second time today. Hello again.
Hi, everyone.
We're going on a little adventure today, as you may be able to tell from the title of this episode. We're going on an adventure, we being the Tavernkeep, and the lovely Bartender. Speaking of the Bartender, though, we have something special today, the Bartender's Brew.
It's wine.
What kind of wine?
Wine I made.
The wine you made.
The wine I made that you would all know and love and have tried vicariously through us.
Yep. Commune with Nature, as it is called. The wine that is in episode, if I care enough to look up the episode number, I will enter it here. Technically, episode 77, according to the metrics, it's the episode titled Side Quests.
The wine that might be a glass bomb in our house because I didn't realize that if you don't stop the fermentation, the pressure can just build up until it explodes.
I mean, you would expect it to be like champagne then when we open it, and it really wasn't, so...
No.
What do you mean, no? Because the gas would dissolve into the wine, and then that would build pressure that way, and then when you open it, all that pressure would be released, and it would shoot out like a champagne bottle. That's why champagne bottles have those fancy corks that are held in by a chastity cage. Remember, folks, remove the chastity cage from your champagne bottle before trying to open it.
I don't know, I'm just seeing a bunch of people talking about how they've accidentally made bombs, and it sounds like someone throwing a brick through your window.
Makes sense, shattering glass. Anyways.
I love evil jazz.
Speaking of evil jazz, if you want to get an extended double cold intro, I don't know how I want to advertise this, but if you want to get something, actually, if you want to get the Tavernkeep only cut of this episode, which will make sense if you listen to the Tavernkeep only cut of this episode, you can go to the Tavernkeep or patreon.com/the Tavernkeep's Guide. Support us there at $5 or more a month, and you get the cold intro, cold outro, side talks, diatribes, all sorts of goodies. With this episode specifically, you get the failed first recording, which is 20 minutes of unreleased content. Mostly because of a mic mishap, but it's fine. If you want to support us non-monetarily, the best way to do so is by telling somebody else about a podcast.
Or the best way to do it is how I explained in the unreleased part. Trap your friends in a car for an amount of time and force them to listen to this podcast.
And by tell somebody about a podcast, I mean this podcast specifically.
Nah, tell them about any podcast. It helps us if you increase the number of podcast listeners in the world in general.
That's
if you
true?
If you have a friend who doesn't know what a podcast is, please introduce them to the concept of podcasts. Would we prefer it be through our podcast? Yeah, of course. But so long as they're learning what podcasts are.
And I mean, that makes it easier later to fucking get them with the Tavernkeep's Guide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell your friends about a podcast.
Yeah.
Tell them about all the podcasts you listen to, and they will slowly start to trust you, and then you can just drop this on them.
Yeah, throw this at them. I guess if you want, because also I need to mention this from the failed recording, go and download our entire backlog, I guess?
Yes.
And another way to support us is go to the social medias. We are the Tavernkeep's Guide or the Tavernkeep on Tumblr, Mastodon, and Blue Sky. I guess if you're also feeling real spicy, you can go follow the Tavernkeep's Guide blog, but better. But there's almost nothing there.
Well, if people start following it, I'll start posting more.
That one is run by the Bartender. Basically just reposts what I do. Maybe occasionally reposts with like a comment. Are you still recording?
Yes. Oh my god. I've never made that mistake before, okay?
Never happened. On to the Golden Wheel quests. Because we're doing something a bit different today. As I said at the top of the show, we're going on a little adventure. We're playing a little micro-TTRPG today. Called The Eyes Have It. Because this is a license under CC by SA 4.0, we do have to give attribution. So it is The Eyes Have It, a game by Golden Wheel Games, a part of the Tavernkeep's Guide. Yes,
Oh, wow.
this is a TTRPG that I designed.
I think you could have just said that.
Yes, but I wanted to
You
show it
wanted
in the
to
most
flaunt-
pretentious way
You
possible.
wanted to flaunt the copyright that it's under. I get it.
Yeah, in theory, when this goes up, I should have a, essentially, like, just thing of this available on, like, itch.io, which, as you may be able to guess, will either be the Tavernkeep or the Tavernkeep's Guide. The eyes have it. Like I said, it's under Creative Commons, buy, and share alike. So if you want to use it in a creative project of yours, or use parts of it in creative project of yours, just share it under the same license and also attribute it to us. So, like, you can steal it, basically, just say where you got it from, and if you use it in something, you know, say, oh, people can also steal this, as long as they say where it's from, and, when they steal it, make sure they tell, so on and so forth. It propagates. The Eyes Have It is a micro-TTRPG inspired by the Bartender. Because the Bartender, what is one of your favorite things?
Cats.
Okay, give me another one of your favorite things.
Another one of my favorite things. Sewing.
Okay, and now for the third one, because the rule of threes, give me another favorite thing.
Another favorite thing of mine.
Listeners, I am looking at a certain part of the wall, of painting on the wall.
Another favorite thing of mine, I would have to say, is getting tattoos. And there is something all three of those things have in common.
Oh?
Eyes.
Eyes. The Bartender, you have a love for eyes. Particularly an odd or strange amount of eyes. For example, there is a mural on a wall in the room we are currently in that has a big eyeball in the middle that the bartender painted. There are multiple eyes on the door behind me. Oh, on the wall behind me. There are multiple eyes on the wall behind me. There's a painting on the wall that has multiple eyes in the background. There's another painting where somebody has a couple different eyes on them. The bartender has multiple tattoos of eyes. I believe 3. There is an eyeball candy bowl. And patrons, if you recall from the top of the show, what's in your dice?
Eyes.
An eyeball. So,
not pictured in this room, my stuffed animal that is a cupcake with an eyeball on it. My other thing similar to those plaques on the wall over there that is just a bunch of eyes.
Your cups that have a bunch of eyes.
My cups that have a bunch of eyes. My mug with eyes. My clothing with eyes.
The heart-shaped pillow on the ground over here with an eye on it.
The brooch I have with eyes. The multiple eye earrings I have.
Including
the set that I forgot up here.
A set that's already up here.
Point is, listeners, eyes fuck, and if you don't like them, you're wrong and stupid.
Yep. The bartender loves eyes. And I love TTRPGs. So I was inspired to make a micro-TTRPG based around creatures with multiple eyes.
Because he loves me, and that's so embarrassing for him.
That is disgustingly embarrassing.
So embarrassing that you have a crush on me.
Yeah, it's humiliating, actually. And not in the fun and sexy way.
Nope.
So, I crafted The Eyes Have It.
I crafted.
Yep. The Eyes Have It, which is a micro-TTRPG about being a creature with many eyes trying to escape from a wizard's tower. Do you want to read, like, the intro section, or do you want me to read it?
I want you to read it.
Okay.
We know how good I am at reading things out loud. Listeners at home, the answer to the question of how good I am at reading things aloud is bad.
The Entity's Guide, which is what I refer to as the player, is an entity, versus the one running the game is the observer, although technically with this rules you could run it observerless. The Entity's Guide. You are a being of sight, defined by your many ocular facets. Your perception is your reality, and you are in control of your perception. That's how it was for so long. Suddenly, you found yourself in somewhere strange. You were summoned by magic. This place, cold, stone, dark. You've heard of it. a nightmare told in whispers, the dungeon of the blind mage. Your eyes are in danger, and so are you. The point of this TTRPG is that it's a simple 2-stat 1d6 roll under system. Think similar to Honey Heist if you've played that, definitely Wizards if you've played that. It's in that genre. Lasers and Feelings. This doesn't use any of those systems. I don't know if there's a game that uses this system. If it does, you know what? Let me know. This system, you have 2 aspects. And I'm just going, so for this audio format, right, I will explain later, but they are I and I. But I will be referring to them as I and capital I, because capital I is just the letter. I is your perception of reality, your ability to perceive things and influence others, and even make minor changes to reality, because reality is your perception. And then capital I is yourself and body. So you use it to physically interact, take hits, sneak, and maintain your sanity. Because if you lose your capital I, you lose yourself. Both of these aspects start at 3, but you have an additional point to assign to one of them. So one of your aspects will be at 3, one of them will be at 4. Whenever you face an obstacle, you will describe how you overcome it. The observer will ask you to make a roll using either your I or capital I. And if you roll under, you succeed. If you roll over, you fail. We will get into the finer points of failing and succeeding later. The goal is simple. Gather the keys, find and shut down the summoning circle, find and deal with the blind mage, and find and exit. If you exit before dealing with the blind mage or the summoning circle, yes, you made it out, but it's very unlikely that you are safe. Question for you, bartender. What kind of entity are you?
You should explain the entities to the peoples.
Okay. So then we will have to circle back slightly to success-fail mechanics, because some of them do rely on that. When you succeed and you move through. When you fail, your unused stat goes down, but you still make it past the obstacle. So, as an example, I will read you the example of play we put in, because I think examples of play are important. Atlantic is playing a beholder. He's found a locked gate with keys on a table nearby just out of reach. He decides he wants to warp reality just slightly to bring the keys into reach. The observer tells him to roll I to do so. Atlantic's aspects are 3I and 3 capital I, with his I at a maximum of 4, but he failed a capital I check earlier. Atlantic rolls a d6, and, if he fails, the keys are closer and within reach, but his capital I decreases by 1 because he had to rely too hard on his I rather than his capital I to get this. So he loses a bit of himself in that way. If he succeeds, the keys are his, and his I goes up to its maximum because he has successfully used it. So essentially, if you fail on a check, the aspect you didn't use goes down by 1. If you succeed on a check, the aspect you used goes back up to its maximum. So you want to be balancing which aspects you're using. And if either aspect hits 0, as you may be able to guess, that's bad.
The problem is I want to fuck each of these beings. They're all fuckable.
Speaking of the beings, there are 6 types of beings, each one with their own special ability. So the beholder has I rays, and they may use I instead of capital I for rolls they make. If they fail, both their aspects go down by 1. Rather than just the unrolled one, but the next roll is made essentially with advantage, rolling 2d6 and taking the lower. The I Swarm has its hive mind, in which it can use capital I instead of I for rolls they make. If they succeed, the rolled aspect doesn't increase, but their next roll is made with advantage. The Angelic Throne, also known as an Ophilim, has the ability Wheels Within Wheels, and they may make an I roll to protect themselves from physical harm with their awesome and terrible presence. If they fail though, their next roll is made with essentially disadvantage, 2d6 taking the highest. Elder beings have impossible geometry. Their true form threatens to shatter reality itself, and they may make a capital I roll to tear reality around a point of their choice, significantly altering reality for that room or item. If they fail though, their next roll is made with 1d6 plus 1. The mutant has adaptive genetics, and when they fail a roll, they may choose which aspect decreases. And the Panoptibot has upgrades. When they succeed on a roll, and that aspect is at its maximum, they may instead lose one from that aspect to add one to the unrolled aspect, so they can shift points around a little bit.
I'm torn between the Panoptibot and the Elder Being.
Interesting. Okay.
Why is that interesting?
I mean, I was expecting you to snap pick Beholder.
Beholder and Hive Mind, well, I know in theory they are not that complicated at all, and I understand exactly what the abilities are. My brain just keeps going, too complicated, man.
Beholder and Ice Swarm.
Yeah.
Okay. The Elder Being does allow you to get away with a lot of stuff, because you can warp reality, but then you do have that downside. Panoptibot rewards you taking the safest route, and allows you to kind of recover a little bit. If you can chain together using your best stat. Yeah. The issue is if you get forced to use your worst stat over and over, you're very likely to just plummet. So, Panoptibot rewards safe play, but stumbles against risky play. And then the Elder Being is just risky in general, but gets away with more.
Which one do you think is more fuckable?
I mean, you know me, I have to go with the robot.
Okay, then I'm going with the robot.
Okay, you're going with the fuckable Panoptibot.
Yeah, all of them are fuckable. Like me would to every single one of those. Mm-hmm. So obviously the next step is to ask you which one is more fuckable.
Yeah. So then we move to the Observer's Guide, aka the GM's Guide. The Mage's Tower isn't strictly defined. Keep general track of rooms and where guards might be. There are probably some guards protecting the mage or the summoning device. There might also be keys that need to be collected. And there are multiple tables for creating rooms and complications on the fly. There are in fact 3 tables on the back. There's a 2d6 table, a d6 table, and a d66 table. For those who don't know, a d66 table is, you're like, okay, that is 3 and 4. So then you look on the table and you go, row 3, column 4, you have found a key type thing. Because a D66 table is a grid. So I have basically the three tables you can use using 2d6. It's sort of a fun little thing. So, we will...
I'm so hoping I get the sad wizard room.
Well, you have escaped from your containment in a way. And let's see what room you find first.
Sad wizard, sad wizard, sad wizard, sad wizard.
Oh no! I'm already dropping dice. We will do this to determine... Okay.
Sad wizard.
You emerge from your holding cell into a triangular room. It is full of spiked implements and things that would be extremely harmful to you. You see a lit neon sign that just says, Room of Doom.
Come on, the dice hate me. I wanted fucking the sad wizard room.
Yes, listeners, the prompts for complications in room, some of them are a little strange, such as flower power, sad wizard, and mind goblins.
Mind goblin these nuts!
So you are on the far side of this triangular room. You have essentially emerged from a corner of this room, and you see on each face of this triangle an exit. One towards your right, one towards your left, one across. But all of them are blocked off by spiked instruments. In front of one of the doors, you see red-hot clamping claws. In front of another one of the doors, you just see a guillotine that seems primed to just drop. And in front of the third one, you just see a large pit full of spikes.
I'd like to know more about this large pit full of spikes. Like, is it... Okay, so here's your pit, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then the door is right there with no walkway in front of it?
Yeah.
Or is there a little bit of space?
There's no space.
Dumb. This is a stupid wizard. Or a stupid mage.
Uh-huh.
Anything else in the room?
There's an Iron Maiden. There's a rack to stretch people on.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pillory.
Cool, so I'm in the kinky sex dungeon.
I mean, you get the feeling that this place isn't exactly used for consensual torture.
I had to look up what a pillory is.
Pillory is your head and like hands through a thing.
That's what I learned because I just looked that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. How big is the pit of spikes?
Pit of spikes, I'm gonna say is... It's not like humongous. I'm gonna say it's like 6 feet by 6 feet.
Like, if I push enough shit into the pit of spikes, would I be able to walk across?
It would be, you can, like, try to walk across it. There is a chance you, like, slip and fall.
And die?
No, you would just fail if you failed the check and therefore lose one of your stats.
Gotcha. Well, I think that's my best option, to just push shit, push the Iron Maiden, push the pillory, push anything pushable into the spike pit until there's a...
Okay. I forgot to ask at the start, which stat did you put your extra point in?
I forgot that I get an extra point.
Yeah.
Would you hand me a, like, pencil or something?
Sure. So you can keep track of your stats?
Yeah.
You want a blank piece of paper?
Sure, I was just gonna use this, but...
So.
Give me just a second. I think I gotta be true to form and put the extra point in I.
Okay. So 4 and 3. Because you're pushing all the stuff and then trying to navigate across it, that's going to be a capital I roll.
Boo. Can I roll again since I wasn't on my leather?
I will allow you to pull that,
It's like a dice tray.
I'll allow you to pull it 3 times.
1.
That's a 1. That's a success.
Yay.
So, you do successfully move all this stuff. There's kind of a grinding and sound as you're moving stuff across the floor and crashing as it crashes down. I wasn't expecting a beep boop robot. I was picturing more whirring sounds as like their security cameras just like... And they're like monitors that have like eyes on them. Just like...
Oh yeah, that's definitely happening too.
Oh, okay.
I'm just choosing to say beep boop.
Okay. You successfully navigate across the pit to the door. I'm assuming you go through the door?
Yes.
Okay, so the next room. And then... no, because that's... Essentially, if you would have already lost a point in something, you can restore a point in that way. You can balance out stuff you have lost. It's essentially a healing ability.
So how do I get a stat to its maximum then?
It's already at its maximum. 4 and 3 are your maximums.
Ah.
Yeah.
I thought I could get up to 6.
No. At most, even if I did upgrades, at most you would go up to as 5, because if it's at a 6, you auto-succeed constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So, sorry to break your heart, but your current stat maximums are 4 and 3.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
You go to try the door, and it actually doesn't open.
Boo.
You get the feeling that there's something important behind this door.
What the fuck am I supposed to do?
Go through one of the other doors.
They're scary.
Yep. Did you expect to be able to just walk out of the dungeon?
I didn't think this was the exit.
It isn't the exit. You know what? Now that you are close to the door and trying to open it, you see, like, scribbled on the door, writing saying, Summoning Circle.
Boo. Stupid guy.
Summoning Circle, keep out.
What were my other 2 door options?
One that has a guillotine in front of it, and one that has, red hot clamping claws.
So is there anything left that didn't get pushed into the pit?
You know what? You tell me.
Sure.
What didn't get pushed into the pit?
One of those... I gotta look up what they're called really quick. A St. Andrew's Cross.
This isn't a kinky sex dungeon!
It's the only thing I could think of. Would you like to know what I typed into Google to figure out what that's called?
What?
Those X things in kink dungeons.
Those X things in kink dungeons. Okay, there's a St. Andrew's Cross in here.
Okay, my second choice is going to be the Iron Maiden, because I just remembered you saying that.
Okay.
No way, I was gonna try and push it underneath the door so that the guillotine couldn't fall on me.
Okay, make me another capital I roll.
5.
So you do successfully move it, but while moving it, you like stumble it and whatnot, and it smacks one of your cameras.
Ouchie.
And your eye decreases by 1.
Okay.
You are able to move it under, and you are able to open the door and move through.
Very funny if you roll a 1-1 or a 2-2 again, and it's sorry, summoning circle.
Sorry, summoning circle's also over here. The idea there is if you've already found it, you just roll again. Ooh, that could be exciting.
Sad wizard, sad.
Not quite.
Damn.
You open the door to find a
Big frog.
long rectangular room.
Mm-hmm.
With one exit across the end of this room.
Mm-hmm.
You do not see anything immediately upon entering.
Is this the collapsing ceiling?
That feels like metagaming asking. Hey DM, is this a trap room?
Can I see if there's anything wrong with the room?
You can make me an eye check.
3.
What's your eye?
4.
Okay. Isn't your eye 3 because it tanked down by 1 because you failed the capital eye check to push the Iron Maiden?
No, capitalized down by 1.
No, if you fail a check, the other stat goes down by 1.
Now I gotta erase things. Either way, it's a success.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, it's a success because your eye is at 3.
That's counterintuitive.
The point is that you're like putting so much into the stat you're using, you lose a little bit of the other stat. But your eye does go back up to 4 because you succeeded. So the idea is if you fail with like a body roll, right, your mental decreases because you have to put so much of your energy into your body, you lose a bit of connection with your mind. Versus if you succeed with your body, you have successfully used your body, and so that restores a little bit.
Okay.
And then it's the idea of like you have to bounce back and forth. Because otherwise you just roll your best stat over and over, and that's the only stat that's moving. Right? I'd like the idea of it crossing across.
Okay.
Anyways, you succeeded. You don't necessarily see anything, but you feel something. In fact, you feel a voice in your brain go, hee hee hee, we have a new visitor.
Is it the mind goblins?
You're gonna have to interact.
Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop.
Oh, this one's making weird noises. Maybe we should throw rocks at it.
No.
Oh, so it can speak.
Beep boop, beep boop. Yes, beep boop, beep boop.
So what's your name?
Beep boop.
Your name's Beep Boop?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you, Beep Boop. How's your Ligma doing?
I don't think that's been installed.
And your Sukon?
I also don't think that's ever been installed. I don't know what that is.
Well, what is?
The thing you just said.
What are you writing down?
My name.
Okay. Beep Boop. You have named your character Beep Boop.
Mm-hmm. That's what happens when I have to come up with a name on the fly.
And do you have Good Time Dragon installed?
Is that like a program?
I don't know.
But you're the one asking if I have it installed.
Yeah, do you have it installed? Do you have Good Time Dragon installed?
No.
Interesting.
I'm gonna start walking towards the door, the exit.
You feel a force just start pulling you back a little bit.
Could you not?
I mean, you haven't even asked what we are yet.
What are
You're
you?
so rude. Well, we're a type of goblin.
Okay.
We're a type of thing called a mind goblin.
Alright.
You know, you should be more inquisitive about things.
Okay. How are you?
That's not what I'm...
What would you like me to ask you?
I mean, we
Mr.
keep
Mind
asking you
Goblin?
things, and you don't ask for any clarification. You're just like, nope, and you walk on past.
I asked if that was like a part or a program. That's clarification, and you said no.
Yeah, most people ask, hey, what is this? And they say the thing. You're no fun.
Would you like... I can say that for you. Which one would you like me to ask clarification on?
I mean, frankly, you should know what a D's is.
Like the letter?
Once again, no fun!
Sorry. What's D's?
Now, I want you to make a capital I check to maintain your sanity. As you just hear, D's nuts! Ah, we got him, boys! And you just hear, like, uproarious laughter.
Can I go?
You don't feel a force pulling on you anymore, as
Sick.
you're just surrounded by uproarious laughter.
I'm gonna go.
Well, this place has a lot of hallways. But it also has a big old throne room. Long throne room. About 3 times as long as it is wide. And at the far end of this throne room, you see sitting a figure with a big old hat.
Sad wizard. Sad wizard.
You see on the other side of this figure with the big old hat, 2 armored guards with pole arms.
Sad wizard?
Why do you keep expecting me to tell you exactly what's going on instead of having you interact at all?
Mostly because I just want to know when I meet the sad wizard.
You'll know when you meet a wizard.
Are there any
who
doors?
is said. There is a grand set of doors on the other side of this room behind the throne this figure is sitting in.
Are there any obvious traps?
Not as far as you can see. There are no obvious traps.
Then I'm just gonna start moving forward.
Okay, as you approach this throne, the guards on either side start to step forward to kind of meet you halfway, and then they take their pole arms and they do this.
Hell yeah. Listeners at home.
The gesture is...
They did the thing.
They did the thing of guards crossing their poled weapons to block you moving forward.
Beep boop.
And you hear... voice from the throne. Well, I may not be able to see you, but I recognize those beep boops.
Gross, it's the mage.
It's the blind mage. He's like, well, I can give you 2 options. Either you can return to your holding cell and be put through the, I will admit, unpleasant but not destructive process of having a few of your cameras removed. Or we can destructively decommission you.
I'm gonna be honest with you, DM. I don't trust in my ability to not roll like shit. And just fucking die here.
Remember an important rule is that if you fail, you still overcome the obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a you fail and you just get fucked up. It's you fail and one of your stat decreases. You are guaranteed to fail forward.
To try and convince the guards that the mage is the one that should be on the receiving end of these pole arms, not me.
Okay, you're gonna try to like unionize the guards.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Does he even give you good pay? What are your benefits? Do you have dental?
Describe to me how you're convincing them. Give me the story. Give me the roleplay. Come on. The whole point of this is that it's kind of rules light, and you just have fun with it.
So is that your boss?
Yeah, that's our boss. That's why we're stopping you from moving any further forward. Yeah, you tell him, Johnny.
So, voices down. This is us conversation. Let's leave him out of it. Sorry. This isn't us conversation. Let's leave him out of it. Does he treat you nice? Like, what's it like working here?
I mean, it's okay.
He's listening.
He's a blind mage. He's going to hear us no matter what. He probably has an arcane ear on, like, my pole arm. Because he can't do arcane eye. Because he's blind. It's, like, fine. I get, like, 3 squares a day. Yeah, you tell him, Johnny!
But what about other things? Like, how's the pay? Does he give you a place to stay?
I mean, we have room and board.
But are you paid money? Do you have time for your hobbies? What about paid time off? Dental.
What's dental?
It's like for your... I think you have teeth. Most things have teeth. I don't have teeth. But most things have teeth, and from what I've heard, dental is a very important thing your job should be giving you.
What do you mean by dental?
Like, your teeth.
No, I understand the word dental, but what do you mean they give me... Like, they give me more teeth?
Like, they send you to the teeth doctor.
There's a tooth doctor?
Yeah.
We just have a guy that pulls out teeth if they're bad.
Yeah, like a tooth doctor who fixes teeth if they're bad.
That's a thing?
Yeah. Or like a regular doctor. That's also a really big thing that I hear.
Oh yeah, we have a sawbones.
A sawbones?
Yeah, sawbones. He saws off your bones if they're bad.
No, like fixes your bones if they're bad.
Yeah, fixes them by taking them off.
It fixes them by healing them and making them better. So you get to keep your bones.
I mean, he like puts bandages on things, but like most of the time if you've been stabbed, you kind of just need that limb gone. Or else he says it turns gangrenous or something. Yeah, you tell him, Johnny!
But like, what if you get sick?
I mean, then you hope you don't die and you eat some soup or something.
But that's what the doctor's for. They can give you medicine.
What's medicine?
It's something that makes you feel better. That's not cutting your arm off.
I mean, there's a lot of things that make me feel better. That's not cutting my arm off.
It's something that cures your illnesses. That's not cutting your arm off.
I think your question has been answered as to whether or not those are things here.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, you guys have some pretty shit benefits.
What are benefits?
Exactly my point. Benefits are the perks you get for working a job. The perks you deserve.
Like the pay and the 3 squares a day and the free room and board?
Like the pay? How much are you guys getting paid anyways?
I mean, some gold gets sent back home to our families.
But
yeah, you tell them, Johnny!
But how much?
Enough. I don't know. I get letters from home occasionally saying they're doing quite well. My wife's happy with her new boyfriend.
So you don't even get to see your wife?
Like on holidays.
How often are you getting holidays?
A couple times a year.
You should be really getting more paid time off. Do you get paid to go on these holidays?
No, they're holidays. The Dungeon Sector shuts down.
You should be getting paid for that.
Why would I be getting paid when I'm not doing work?
Because your job should be treating you like it appreciates you.
I should be working like I appreciate this job.
And your job should work like it appreciates you back.
What action are you trying to get from them out of this? Because right now you just told them they have a shitty job.
I'm trying to get them to unionize against the mage.
You have to point them against the mage at some point.
Yeah. This guy, this blind asshole, is making your lives worse than they could be if you were just working a regular 9 to 5 somewhere.
Okay, first of all, I don't know what you mean by 9 to 5.
That's where you work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
What's a.m. and p.m.?
9 in the morning to 5 at night.
I mean, we typically just work from sunrise to sundown.
Yeah, that's a lot longer.
Feels like you're kind of just making things up I've never heard about before. But I like what you're saying. Roll me I, because that's your stat to answer. 2! That's a success. So if your I is below its maximum, it goes back up to full.
That's EYE?
Yes. Okay. I refer to the other one as capital I.
Yeah.
So what should we do about it?
You should unionize. That's where you band together, right? And you demand for a better working environment. And if your boss doesn't give it to you, you either go on strike, which is where you refuse to work at all until your demands are met, or you kill him.
It's like, you know what? I like what you're saying. Come on, Jimmy. Yeah, you tell him, Johnny. And the 2 guards turn around and they're like, hey, Mr. Blind Mage. Yes? We want benefits. I don't know what those are. I don't think they've been invented yet. Yeah, well, this beep boop back here, or whatever they are, says you should be giving us benefits. I'd rather not. Well then, we're going on strike. Yeah, you tell him, Johnny. What's strike? Hey, what's strike?
Strike is where you refuse to work until your demands are met. So you don't do your job until the mage gives you what you want.
Yeah, we're gonna go on strike and we're not gonna do any work until you give us benefits. Okay, I guess go back to the barracks and get your things. You're fired?
You guys, you gotta get all the other guards in on it.
We're gonna go talk to the other guards. Okay, have fun. Go to the barracks and get your stuff. You're fired? You're unemployed? All these new terminology, I've read about it in my, like, divination books. This is what I get for bringing a robot here.
I'm gonna leave with them.
You're going to go towards the altar. And you're just gonna hear, now you wait right there. You're not one of the guards.
I might as well be.
No, you don't even have a pole arm from what I can hear.
Shit, guys, give me one of your pole arms before you leave. Quick, guys!
They're just walking off, pole arms crossed in solidarity. Now, I hope you understand why I can't just let you leave. First of all, you've unionized my guards, which unions haven't even been invented.
That's what you get from bringing a robot from the future here.
Yeah. Now you have to convince me not to just, like, violently decommission you right now. See, because I've got powerful magics.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I don't like what you're saying.
I can teach you union busting techniques.
I mean, I already fired them, and I'm probably going to just hit them with, like, a disintegration ray later. I think I can handle dealing with them.
If they get that ideology spread to the other guards.
Yeah, and then I just vaporize those guards and get new guards.
That's a lot of guards to vaporize and a lot of new hires to onboard.
Yeah, I have a lot of spells.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
But do you really want to go through the work of bringing in a bunch of new people, interviewing that many
That
new
feels like a
guards?
problem to deal with later. You and I have a problem right now that needs dealt with.
And
so
you
why
have
don't,
a problem brewing.
Why don't you go... Yeah, but that's a later problem. Your problem that's done brewing and showing up in my throne room. Why don't you go back to your holding cell and we can talk about this later?
How about you let me go to the barracks and convince them to not unionize?
How about I blast you with magic right now?
How about you don't
roll me a capital I roll.
6.
Okay, you are able to dodge out of the way as just a wide beam of arcane energy shoots past you. Not greatly aimed because he's blind, but it came close, and you had to really focus on your form and whatnot to leap out of the way of this blast of energy. He's like, now listen, I get what you're saying, but I know you don't like me. Because, I'm the blind mage and you're something with multiple eyes. You've probably heard that I'm going to take all your eyes and use them in some sort of arcane ritual to restore my sight that was taken away from me by the great demon who granted me all the power of magic in the world, but rendered my sight unobtainable to me forever because that was the hubris that brought me here, You've probably heard all that. Now, what I can do is make you an offer. You go back to your holding cell, and when you're done in your holding cell, you'll have a few less eyes, but I'll let you out of here.
I'm just remaining quiet to see if he thinks that maybe I died.
So that'll be a capital I roll because capital I is stealth.
1!
That's a 1. Sure. Hello?
So that means I can increase my I because of my
You can increase your capital I.
But that's at its maximum.
Yes, so you can decrease your capital I by 1 and boost your I back up.
Oh.
You can move a point from capital I to I.
I feel like that's worse. To take a 2 in one stat to get a 4 in the other.
Yeah.
So. Anyways. Remaining silent so that he thinks I'm dead.
Yeah, and you just hear, hello? Are you there? And you see the mage get out of their chair and grab their staff and start walking toward, kind of sweeping the ground in front of them.
I'd like to try and quietly slip out the door.
Since you already succeeded on a stealth, I will say you make it out the grand doors in the back.
Sick.
Which do squeak on your way out, and you hear, you son of a bitch. Damn it. They always give me with that one. I really need to get my sight back. It takes you a while to go through the grand doors. This one's a silly one. So, you pass through into a square room. Large square room, door on each side. So 3 exits from here. And you see just lining all of the walls, figures very similar to yours. Mechanical in nature.
Do they seem animate?
Do you interact with any of them?
Not yet.
Upon
glance, do they seem animate?
Upon glance, none of them seem immediately animate.
Do they also look like they have a bunch of eyes?
No. Majority of them seem very humanoid in design.
Boo. If he can afford to have robots, why can't he afford to just have robots with many eyes made?
That's a question for him.
What an idiot.
You don't know the blind mage's deal.
I know he's dumb.
Do you?
Yes, I just said so.
You think he's dumb.
This is the worst spot to sit. It's not easy to get to my wine.
Uh-huh.
Hello, brethren. Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop.
There's no immediate movement from any of the mechs.
I'm gonna take a step forward and say, I said, hello, brethren. Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop.
Once again, there's no movement from any of the mechs.
So sad, the mage killed all my brethren.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start towards one of the doors.
As you approach one of the doors, the two mechs on either side, their eyes light up and they just step both in front of the door.
Hello, brethren. Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop.
They both hand out. Unauthorized. You just, high five them.
Mm-hmm. Except it sounds more metal than that because we're both robots.
It's just...
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
So you clang as metal hands hit each other. They do not move. They're unauthorized.
No, I have a lot of eyes.
They don't seem to respond.
Brethren, are you okay? Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop.
You hear one of the non-humanoid mechs from across the room actually go, processing. It seems a little problematic for you to assume we are all brothers. Are you assuming that because we look similar?
No, I'm calling you brethren because we are all made of metal.
So is a pan. My pan is not a brother to me.
Sorry, because we are all robots.
We are mechs.
That is just
entirely
another
different
form of robot.
No. And they open a chest cavity and you see a tiny little sprite
I'm
inside.
gonna move over there so I can actually see. Huh.
And you just hear, yeah, this is an operating machine. That's what a mech is.
Huh.
And the panels just close.
I'm gonna open myself up.
Just wires and circuitry, the occasional spark.
So we are different.
Yeah,
Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop.
Why do you keep saying beep boop?
Because it's in my programming. Beep boop.
Weird that you would have been programmed to go beep boop constantly.
I think my creator found it novel. Beep boop.
Well, we cannot let you pass. You are unauthorized.
I have a lot of eyes.
What do you think the word unauthorized means?
I don't know.
It means you are not allowed.
But what if I was?
Are you going to try to make yourself allowed?
Sure.
Because remember, you can do minor bends to reality using your eye stat.
I did not remember. I would like to bend reality, so I'm allowed.
Because perception is reality. So you can make an eye check.
3, which is my eye check.
Okay. You bend reality slightly. You perceive that since you are something which is like programming, you don't need authorization. You're actually just like something that can be shipped through just fine.
Authorization is for living beings.
Mm-hmm.
Beep boop.
And you, the mech you're standing in front of, which is kind of like one of those orb spider mechs, like orb with many legs. There's kind of like a green grid beam that just goes across you. And they're like, well, it does seem that you are considered unliving. Therefore, you do not need authorization.
Can I go through? I'm going through.
Can who go through?
Well, I'm going to pass into the next room. Beep boop.
Well, the strange object is going to pass through.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to take the west door, the north door, or the east door?
Does it matter?
Maybe, if you decide to backtrack.
I don't want to backtrack.
You might hit some dead ends.
Okay. Are you keeping track?
Yes.
Okay, then I will go through the door I'm closest to right now.
I'm going to say that's the west door. You enter into another rectangular room, this one much shorter than the others. You enter from a long side in the middle. On each of the short ends there is a door, and you see dangling from the ceiling, far above your reach, a key.
I would like to jump up and grab the key.
Okay, that's going to be a capital I roll.
3.
You jump up and successfully snap the key out of the air off its thin wire it was attached to.
Sick.
You hear faint mechanical whirring as you do so.
Gonna go to one of the doors quickly.
Okay. I'm assuming you go through it?
Yeah.
Okay. Guess that works out. You you find a long hallway, and about halfway down on the west side there's a door, and then down at the very far end of this hallway there is a door that is just big and metal and seems to have something scrawled on it.
Like summoning circle?
I mean, you're at the other end of this long hallway, you'll have to approach the door.
Okay, is this a long hallway I've been in before?
You haven't been in this hallway, no.
Okay, well then I'm gonna walk through the hallway, to go read the door.
You see scrawled on the door the word summoning circle.
Gonna unlock the door. Well, I'm gonna see if it unlocks.
Yeah, because this is wonky RPG logic, the key unlocks the door.
Hell yeah.
And now, because you know this key unlocks the door, you know it's not going to unlock or any other doors, so you don't need to worry about it anymore.
Okay.
That's the justification for the classic like RPG. You gather keys in a dungeon and you just use them to unlock things. My logic for that is when you get the key, you don't know what it opens, and it just happens to always be whatever door you open, but then you know that key opens that door, so that's why it's -1 from your inventory.
Okay.
Because it only opens that lock and no other locks. So why would you keep track of it anymore?
Well, I go into the summoning circle room. Beep boop, beep boop.
What happened to our robot?
The British language mod kicked in.
Just got installed.
It's been installed. It just kicked in for a moment.
Oh, okay. Has it been uninstalled?
No, it just isn't active anymore.
Oh, okay. So you enter into this large summoning circle room. You see surrounded along this room, circular in nature, along all the walls, just bunches of candles, all lit. A large summoning circle inscribed in the floor. Scrolls and tomes across all the walls.
This what brought me here?
I mean, you're pretty sure it is.
Can I break it?
You can try. How do you want to go about breaking it?
How's the summoning circle look on the floor? Like, is it painted? Is it in...
It is slightly inscribed.
Okay.
You get the feeling that, this thing is slightly carved in the floor, and then some sort of liquid is poured into the grooves. Probably blood of something.
Can I just use the metal of my body to scratch it out? Or use bend reality so that the words are wrong? I think that's a bit funnier, to try and bend reality so that the words are incorrect.
Bend reality to change the words of the summoning circle so that they are wrong. I have to decide which one I like more. So I will allow you to either use capital I and scrape out the words, or use I and do a minor reality.
I would like to do a minor reality bend.
Okay.
That's cocked. 6.
Okay. You are focused so much on bending reality, you lose a little bit of connection to yourself. But you're pretty sure you have altered the spell that this summoning circle would use, such that the summoning circle is no longer a valid summoning circle.
Fuck yeah.
There are 2 doors out of this room. You know where both of them lead.
I do?
Yes. Because one leads to the hallway, one leads to the torture room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There was another door out of the long hallway.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go back to the long hallway because I don't want to deal with the clampy.
The pit or the red hot clamps.
Well, the pit I dealt with.
Yeah. You just don't want to deal with the red hot clamps.
Yeah.
My favorite band. The Red Hot Clamp Peppers. As you enter into this room, you really feel like you shouldn't have gone into this room. It's a very ominous room. Large, you're pretty sure circular because you can see the walls kind of curving, but it is magically dark in here, and you feel like you are being hunted in some way. You hear the faint dripping of water in the distance.
I don't like this, observer.
Yeah.
I cannot think of a valid way to use I for this. And I don't want to use capital I.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna go out the door I just came in.
Okay, sounds good. You're in the long hallway.
And then go back to not the summoning circle room, but the other room.
Okay. The rectangular room that had the key from the ceiling.
Yeah, and then back to the room with the mechs.
Oh, okay. You're not going out the other exit of the key room?
I forgot there was another exit of the key room. Okay, we'll try that first.
Okay. You see, as you entered into this room, square room, exit on each side that you just, other than the one you just came in, so there are 3 other exits. And you see in this the middle of this room, a table with a key on it, with a big glass box around it.
Okay. Does there look to be anything attached to the glass box? Like any sort of alarm?
You could make me an eye roll.
EYE?
Yes.
Okay. 2.
Yes, there seem to be traps connected to this glass box.
And I'm gonna choose to do that thing where I can lower the stat that I just rolled that's at max.
Uh-huh.
To boost up the other one, so I'm at 3 and 3.
Okay.
Well, I know it's here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna go out one of the other doors.
West, north, or east.
Which one did I just come in?
You just came in the south one.
Okay. I thought you said there were only 2 other exits. I'll go...
There were 3.
West.
West again. You keep going west.
Searching for gold.
Like a cowboy. Mm-hmm. You open the door and see a rectangular room. Upon opening the door, even just opening the door, you feel the air in this room is humid and warm and almost steamy as you open it up to some sort of like botanical garden full of trees and bushes and vines. You see at the far end of this rectangle another door.
Okay, I'm gonna back out and try the north door.
You know, maybe I should put something in so that people don't just... every door.
I don't do it to every door.
You have done it to 2 doors. You have...
I'm a robot and both those rooms were wet.
2 out of the 3 doors you have gone through. I've gone
through more than 3 doors this game.
Out of the 3 most recent doors you have gone?
Yeah. But both of those rooms were wet and I'm a robot.
Damn it, I rolled one of my favorite complications. They're just gonna ignore it.
Was it Big Frog?
No. Which one would have vines?
Monkey business?
Monkey business.
Big Frog could also have been that room because you said it was humid.
Yeah, but that would have been more swampy.
Watch, this one's gonna be the swamp one and I'll be like, cool, 3 out of the 3 doors I open.
3 out of 3 are bad for me.
All I want is the sad wizard.
Yeah, re-roll that because I've already... Nope, that's not valid either. Okay. You open to another long rectangle. Door on either side of the ends of this long rectangle. You are actually opening to a long side of this rectangle.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a door at either end.
Anything else notable about the room?
Not as far as you can tell.
Okay, I guess I'll go left.
As you're going that way, you feel the floor start to give out under you. How do you react?
Like, just in the spot where I'm at?
Yeah, just where you are right now.
But not the rest of the floor.
As far as you can tell in this mere instant before the floor gives out under you, no.
Jump to safety?
Okay, make me an eye roll. Or capital I roll.
2, it doesn't matter either way.
Okay. You jump back as the floor opens up to reveal a pit trap.
Am I good now?
For now, yes.
I'm gonna keep going towards that door.
Okay, I should have asked, were you jumping towards the door or away from the door back to where you think safety was?
I just wanted to jump to wherever safety was. I presumed my momentum would keep me going towards the room.
Yeah. And then, you open the door and find stone hewn rather than like the actual like plaster walls and whatnot. This looks like it's been carved out. A circular room that you could probably see 2 exits on the other side if it wasn't for the hulking figure in the middle of this room. Red and scaly, its head just like picks off the ground and turns to you. It's like, what are you doing in my lair, little metallic one?
Trying to leave.
Then there is the door, and it like gestures with one of its clawed hand towards the door you just came in.
trying to leave this entire building.
That is a bold adventure you are trying to go on, then.
I don't want my eyes taken. Beep boop, beep boop.
As most do not.
The mage is trying to steal my eyes.
I am aware of what the mage does. He pays me well to go and gather the gold and reagents necessary. He pays me well when he takes my scales for his potions and poultices.
Well, he doesn't plan on paying me for my eyes.
And that concerns me how?
Empathy.
Empathy. Just care for me, okay? Just care about my plight. You can go ahead and roll I if you want to try to convince this Dargan.
4.
And does that fail? Okay, so mark 1 off your I, capital I, as you make such a, desperate plea to this dragon, right? Do you want to try to roleplay that?
No. I don't even know what to say. He's paying this dragon so much money, not gonna pay me anything for my eyes, and he's paying his guards like shit.
The dragon's like, well, I am paid plenty because I am plenty valuable.
You think my eyes would be pretty valuable to a guy who has no sight?
Thanks for interrupting me before I was going to, give you amnesty and whatnot. Maybe if you let people speak, they wouldn't want to remove your eyes. Anyways.
That's me out of game.
It's like, nope, immediately roll it again. Fuck you. But your plight tugs slightly at these old heartstrings. You may pass, but do not come here again. I am resting, and it is quite difficult to sleep with the clanging of metal.
I'm gonna leave.
And you hear the dragon readjust, and you hear just the jingling of coin upon coin as they readjust upon their hoard.
Okay. Sad wizard. Sad wizard. That's literally all I want.
That's a 1 in 36 chance.
I know!
You have found your way to another long hallway. About halfway down this hallway, you see just a wooden pole between the floor and the ceiling.
Where do I see doors?
There is one door, far end of this room.
By the wooden pole?
No, pole is in the middle of this room, and you see that the pole is even now slightly bent.
Collapsing ceiling. I don't have the body stat to run over there. And I think you would say it was too much to use my fucking reality bend to upright the thing.
I would allow reality bend to slightly change, a piece of wood to a different type of wood.
Yeah, strengthen the pole.
Yeah, okay. I would allow that, because that is a minor reality bend. You thought it was birch, and it turns out it's oak. One. There you go. You succeed. Yeah, the point of the reality bend is essentially, you've misunderstood something, and by viewing it differently, it's a different situation, right? So, you're like, oh, no, this is actually oak. This can easily take this load, as you examine the wooden pole.
Cool. I'm gonna go down to the door.
Yes, you go down to the door. Fortunately for you, you find a large set of doors. Just humongous. And from the cracks within this door, you see light coming through. Tkunk.
Can I try to use my eye stat to be like, oh no, the door isn't locked?
If you roll me a 1, anything else will be a failure. And you will not fail forward.
Will I not lose a point?
No, you will lose a point.
That's so mean. Y'all gonna just change the rules of the game you created?
Oh, okay, so I don't get to change the rules. No, you don't get to roll that. That's considered a major break.
I don't want to go back through the dragon. He's gonna yell at me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the body stat for this, man. If I tried to break through the door and failed, is that still a fail forward?
No, that's what I said is, if you roll me a 1, I will allow it. But you're not
you
gonna
said
fail
that
forward.
Sorry, the capital I.
Oh, okay.
The body stat to break through the door.
So, here's the thing, right? My intent is that you need to collect the keys to make your way out.
The dragon's gonna get mad at me.
Yep.
I don't have the body stat to deal with a dragon.
Why do you think you're gonna, full on fight the dragon?
I don't know.
You need to remember that what's gonna happen is you go to the dragon, you decide whether you're gonna talk him down or try to, run past him. Either way, if you fail, you make it out of that room still alive, and one of your stats is decreased by 1.
Yeah, but if my I stat decreases by 1 and I fail going through the dragon's room another time, I die. Because I'm at 2.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go back into the dragon's room.
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, bud, I just need to pass through a couple times. I gotta go grab a key, but I know where it's at, and I'll be right back. And then out of your hair forever.
You hear, and do you have anything you can offer me?
What would you like offered? I don't know you, man.
I quite like those shiny glass viewing ports you have. What he's saying is he will permanently reduce your maximum eye stat by 1, but you can pass through as he takes some of your cameras.
That's just like the fucking mage, man. He didn't even let me roll to see if he would just let me through.
So what I'm saying is if you do this, you don't have to roll and possibly lose eye. Just your stat decreases by 1. Right? I'm giving you a non-rolling out here. I'm changing the rules of the game to benefit you slightly.
Fine! You can have a camera.
Okay. You pass through and you are back to the room with the glass box around the key.
Cool. I would like to leave the door open through the one that I'm gonna go through.
Mm-hmm. Are you smash, grab, dash?
Yes.
Roll me capital I.
Fuck. That was not on. 5.
Okay. So you put almost all of your processing power into moving your body as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And you are able to smash, grab the key, and make it out before just the room fucking fills with laser beams and just fries everything in that room.
Okay.
But you have put so much processing power that quite a few of your cameras have gone from swiveling to just power off mode. But you are able to, technically, I need to, and 2 more.
Why?
I'm surprised you, since you've been reading the Observer's Guide this entire time.
I haven't.
Oh, well, every time I roll on something, you've consulted the table and be like, this is what it is. The tower is a place of chaotic magic, so even the familiar can become dangerous. If the beings want to retread, roll 1d6 for each room they pass back through. For each 6, something gets in their way. Fortunately, nothing gets in your way.
Thank God.
You make it to the big set of double doors. You take what I'm now going to describe as a comically large key.
Hell yeah.
Just fucking big boss key energy. And you go...
And I leave.
And you leave into a world that you're not really that familiar with. But hey, you made it out. With less cameras.
I'll get home and get them fixed.
Congratulations! You made it out.
But I didn't meet the sad wizard!
You did not.
It's really hot in this fucking room, guys.
Yeah, I can tell. You're really warm.
I am. I'm sweating.
I'm assuming we're not doing a quiz bowl to wrap up.
We're not doing a quiz bowl. I love you all. Parasocially. Goodbye.
I mean, I was going to ask you for a review, but...
I mean, your thing is still going. I'll talk loud as I get ready to leave. I had fun. Even if sometimes it was a type 2 fun. But as you have come to learn, I am capable of type 2 fun.
Yeah, I need to get more comfortable with you having type 2 fun.
Is part of my type 2 fun because of how warm it is getting in this room? Yes. But otherwise, play the game, guys. It's actually really good. And I am sad I didn't meet the sad wizard. I, myself, have become a sad wizard. Shit, Mike, will you grab my phone?
Yeah, I'll bring it down.
Thank you. I love you all!
Well, that's a positive review from the bartender. Go get The Eyes Have It. It should be on itch. Otherwise, I'll post a link to it on social media somewhere. It's just a fun little silly 2-stat game. I don't know, play it with your friends or something. So, quick note about when this goes up on itch.io. It will be pay what you want. You can pay $0, and there will be a suggested donation amount. You can skip that, but if you donate, all donations and funds raised by this will be donated to the Macular Degeneration Association, essentially an association that is working to help treat and cure a disease of the eye that causes blindness and failure of eyesight over time, because that's a thematic charity, and we're trying to give back here. So go get the game, and if you want, you can donate. Maybe in a future episode, we'll discuss making little TTRPGs. Thank you so much for listening, every one of you. We really appreciate it. If you want to support us, go check out our social medias, tell other people about the podcast, so on and so forth. Boost us in the algorithm where you can. And last but not least, go to, itch.io or wherever this is, download it, try it out, give feedback, that kind of stuff. I'm not sure I'll keep working on it, but who knows. And as always, make sure to tip the barmaids.